Let's see who can save you. A tattooed stranger ripped a waitress's shirt, but Hell's Angels saw it. It's a sticky summer evening in a dusty roadside bar on the outskirts of a forgotten California town, the kind of place where neon signs flicker like dying fireflies. And the air hangs heavy with the scent of stale beer, cigarette smoke, and unspoken regrets. The jukebox hums a low country tune, barely audible over the rumble of laughter and clinking glasses from a rowdy crowd. Behind the scarred wooden bar stands Emily, a 22-year-old waitress with wide blue eyes and a ponytail that sways like a pendulum as she hustles between tables. She's been slinging drinks here for 6 months to save for community college, dreaming of a life beyond grease traps and tips. Emily's not naive as she knows the bar attracts truckers, locals, and the occasional biker crew, but tonight, something feels off. The man at the end of the counter has been staring at her for hours, his tattooed knuckles wrapped around a whiskey glass. Eyes glassy with too much liquor and not enough sense. He's a hulking figure, easily 6'4", with arms like tree trunks inked from wrist to shoulder with faded skulls and serpents that seem to writhe under the bar's dim lights. Let's call him Jock's a drifter, with a rap sheet longer than the highway outside. The kind of guy who mistakes a smile for an invitation. Emily feels his gaze like a weight on her back as she pours drafts for a group of quiet regulars. She brushes it off at first. It's part of the job. But when she slides his third refill across the sticky counter, his hand shoots out not for the glass, but for her wrist. "Hey, sweetheart," he slurs, his breath hot and sour. "You look like you could use some fun. What's a girl like you doing in a dump like this?" Emily tugs free politely, forcing a laugh that's all teeth and no heart. "Just working, sir." Another round, but Jock's isn't done. As she turns to ring up an order, his fingers snag the hem of her white cotton shirt, the one with the bar's faded logo stretched across her chest. With a yank that echoes like a gunshot in the sudden hush, he rips it clean open, buttons popping like stray bullets across the floor. Emily gasps, her arms flying up to clutch the shredded fabric against her skin, cheeks burning crimson under the fluorescent glow. The bar falls into a stunned silence, broken only by the distant hum of crickets outside. Glasses hover midair. Forks clatter against plates. Everyone sees it, the exposed vulnerability, the violation, but no one moves. The trucker in the corner averts his eyes, muttering into his beer. The old-timers at the pool table shuffle their feet, suddenly fascinated by the felt. Fear ripples through the room like a chill wind. Jock's is big, mean, and alone, but his kind carries an aura of untouchable menace. Who wants to be the hero in a story that ends with broken bones? Emily's heart hammers in her throat, tears pricking her eyes as Jock's leans in closer, his voice a low, mocking growl. "Let's see who can save you now, huh? Bet it's gonna be me." Laughter bubbles from his lips, cruel and triumphant, as he reaches again. This time for her waistband, but in the shadowed corner booth. Bathed in the red glow of a Budweiser sign, a group of men stirs. They're not like the others. 8 of them, leather vests patched with the iconic winged skull of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. Beards grizzled and arms crossed, over chests broad as barn doors. They've rolled in an hour earlier on a thunder of Harleys, claiming the back wall like kings surveying their domain. To most, they're a myth wrapped in menace to outlaws who roar through small towns, leaving whispers of violence in their wake. Tattoos snake up their necks, stories etched in ink, fallen brothers, barroom brawls, miles of blacktop rebellion. Their president, a bear of a man named Big Mike with a salt and pepper ponytail and eyes like chipped flint, sips his IPA slowly, watching the scene unfold with the calm of a predator sizing up prey. Beside him, Tommy Hawk Ramirez, the club's enforcer, with knuckles scarred from too many bare fist fights, cracks his neck audibly. The others, Rico Jocks, no relation, Lena's old man bear, and the prospect's sex-change glances, silent signals, honed over decades of brotherhood. The thud cutting through the tension like a gavel. "You see that?" He rumbles, voice low but carrying like thunder. Hawk nods, veins bulging in his forearms as he pushes back from the table. "Yeah, Prez, we see it. No debate, no vote, just action, pure and instinctive. These aren't choir boys. The Hells Angels have a reputation forged in fire." From the wild 60s runs chronicled by Hunter S. Thompson to the headlines of turf wars and federal indictments. But beneath the leather and the lore beats a code, you don't touch the innocent. You protect your own Anne tonight in this God-forsaken dive. Emily's under their roof. They rise as one, a wall of muscle and menace unfolding from the shadows, boots scraping the floorboards in unison. Jocks doesn't notice at first, too fixated on his prize. But when Big Mike's massive hand clamps onto his shoulder like a vice forged in health-a-drunk spins, eyes widening in drunken confusion. The hell? He starts, but the words choke off as Hawk steps up, a human eclipse blocking the light. "Let her go, brother," Big Mike says, his tone even, almost polite, but laced with the promise of storm clouds. "Ain't no place for that here." Jock sneers. Shoving Emily aside like discarded trash, she stumbles into the bar. Shirt clutched tight, breath coming in ragged sobs. "Mind your business, biker trash. This ain't your fight." Oh, but it is. In a blur, Hawk's fist connects with Jock's jaw. A crack like splintering oak that sends the big man staggering back into a stool. Beer glasses shatter. Patrons scatter like roaches. Jock roars, swinging wild, but he's no match for the pack. Rico grabs his arm, twisting it behind his back with a pop of ligaments. Bear, the quiet giant with a teddy bear gut and iron grip, hauls him upright by the collar. "You picked the wrong bar, asshole," Bear growls, slamming Jock's face into the counter once, twice enough to draw blood, not enough to kill. Not yet. The angels don't need weapons. Their presence is arsenal enough. Jocks, thrashes, curses flying like spittle, but it's futile. Big Mike nods to the door, and they drag him out into the gravel lot, his heels carving futile furrows. Punches land in the darkness methodical, not frenzied until Jock's curls fetal, begging through split lips. "Enough," Big Mike finally says, wiping blood from his knuckles on his jeans. "Cops come. You tell M you fell off your bike. Touch another woman, and we'll finish this." They leave him there, groaning under the stars, a broken monument to misplaced bravado. Back inside. The bar's a battlefield of spilled drinks and overturned chairs. But the air shifts charged, now with awe, not fear. Emily's huddled on a stool, a borrowed flannel draped over her shoulders by the bartender, who's suddenly all apologies and free coffee. The angels file back in, casual, as if they'd just stepped out for a smoke. Big Mike slides onto his stool, signals for a round on him. "You all right, kid?" he asks Emily, his voice softening like gravel under tires. She nods, wiping her face, words failing her. "Why? Why'd you do that?" Hawk chuckles, lighting a cigarette. "Code of the road. No one messes with family or the folks keeping us watered." It's simple, profound in a world quick to judge them as monsters. These outlaws chose mercy. Word spreads like wildfire through the town's veins. By morning, the bar is buzzing not with fear, but legend. Emily quits that shift, but not before hugging Big Mike like an uncle she never had. She enrolls in classes the next week, fueled by a fire the angels unwittingly lit, and the club. They ride out at dawn, engines roaring a farewell, leaving behind coasters etched with their emblem quiet vow of vigilance. But stories like this. They're rare gems in a sea of shadows. The Hells Angels aren't saints. Their histories stained with blood and badges. Yet here, in one electric moment, humanity pierced the myth. It reminds us, heroes hide in plain sight, often in the unlikeliest armor. If a tattooed stranger ever tests your world, remember, sometimes salvation rolls in on two wheels. What about you? Ever witnessed a twist of fate that restored your faith in strangers? Drop it in the comments below. I read every one. If this heart-pounding tale of unlikely guardians fired you up, smash that like button and subscribe to your channel name. For more true stories that grip your soul and challenge what you think you know, hit the bell and let's uncover the raw, real beats of life together. Who's ready for the next ride? See you in the stories.